Long ago, in a quiet forest between two distant villages, there lived an old woman named Laura. She was known by some for her kindness, and by others, who dared whisper, for her secrets. Laura was no ordinary woman. She was ancient, and she feared that her time was coming to an end. But she'd found a dark way to extend her life, and she waited patiently for the right souls to pass her way. One sunny morning, two young siblings, Felipe and Anna, quietly left their home. They were on their way to visit their mother in the next village, sneaking away without their father knowing. The path was long and shaded by thick trees, and as they walked, they saw an old woman sitting by the road struggling with a large bag. "Hi, please help me with my bag, children," Laura said, her voice weak but her eyes sharp. Anna stepped forward immediately, but Felipe reached out and held her arm. "I don't feel right about this," he whispered. Anna frowned. "Felipe, have you forgotten what we were taught? We help anyone in need, and can't you see she's just an old woman?" Reluctantly, Felipe let go, and they helped Laura carry her heavy bag. "Thank you, my children," Laura said with a crooked smile. Though her voice was kind, Felipe couldn't shake the unease crawling up his spine. Laura noticed the worry in his eyes but said nothing. As they walked deeper into the woods, the sky began to darken. Anna asked, "Are we there yet, ma'am?" "Yes, my child. Just a little farther," Laura replied every time. The path twisted and turned, and soon even Anna started to feel uneasy. When they finally reached Laura's house, it was already night. The cottage stood crooked in a clearing surrounded by strange statues and herbs hanging from the trees. "Thank you, my children," Laura said again. She reached into her bag and handed them two shiny red apples. Eat. I'll fetch you water. You must be tired." Anna bit into her apple hungrily. Felipe's eyes narrowed. "Why did you eat that?" he asked. "Don't you see something's not right about her?" Anna rolled her eyes. "Felipe, I'm hungry. We might have to walk all night. She's helping us be grateful." Laura returned, carrying 2 glasses of water. "I'm sorry I took so long, my dears. Please drink. It's nice and cold." Anna drank without hesitation. "It's really chill." She smiled. Laura offered the other glass to Felipe. "Here, you must be thirsty too." Felipe shook his head. "No, thank you, ma'am." Laura smiled, but her eyes were cold. "You must be tired. A little water will help." Felipe stood his ground. "We should go, Anna." Anna hesitated. "It's too dark now, Felipe. We can't go wandering in the woods at night." Laura nodded slowly. "Stay here till morning. I'll keep you safe. Then you can continue your journey." The siblings looked at each other. Felipe didn't want to stay, but Anna was already settling down near the small fire, and so they stayed. But Felipe didn't sleep that night. He could hear whispers in the walls, and footsteps that didn't belong to any of them. The night stretched on heavy with tension and uncertainty. Suddenly, a breaking twig echoed in the stillness, jolting Felipe upright. "Did you hear that?" Felipe whispered, his voice barely audible. Anna nodded slowly, her expression shifting from relaxed to alert. Laura's voice cut through the tension. "It's probably just an animal, nothing to worry about." Felipe wasn't convinced. No, it felt different. More deliberate. Felipe lay awake, staring at the crooked ceiling of Laura's cabin. The fire crackled softly, casting long shadows that danced across the walls. He could hear Anna breathing gently beside him, already fast asleep. But there was something else. A whisper, a faint dragging sound, like something crawling across the wooden floor. Felipe sat up slowly, his heart pounding. Through the dim light, he saw a dark figure shift near the back of the room. It was hunched, twisted, and breathing heavily. The figure moved past the doorway and disappeared into another room. Felipe froze. He knew that wasn't Laura. Suddenly, he remembered something. Laura's son. Back in the village, he'd heard tales of an old woman in the forest with a hunchbacked son who never showed his face. People said she was looking for a way to replace him with someone young and strong. Felipe turned to wake Anna, but she groaned and clutched her stomach. "It hurts," she whispered. "Felipe, I don't feel good." Felipe touched her forehead. It was cold and sweaty. "It's the apple, or that water. You shouldn't have eaten it." From the hallway, Laura's voice echoed softly. "Everything will be all right, my child. Just rest." But it didn't sound comforting this time. Felipe helped Anna sit up, whispering, "We have to leave, now." He reached for the door, but as he opened it, a gust of wind blew through the cabin. Standing in the doorway was Laura, or at least something that looked like Laura. Her eyes were glowing faintly green, and her voice was sharper than before. "You're not going anywhere," Anna gasped. "What's happening to her?" Felipe stepped in front of his sister. "Who are you? What do you want?" Laura's wrinkled face twitched. "I only wanted a little more time, a new body for my son. One of you will do just fine." She raised her hand and the room darkened as shadows crept in from the corners. Suddenly, the hunched figure from earlier crept out of the shadows. He had twisted limbs, pale eyes, and a long, crooked smile. He stared at Felipe and Anna like a hungry animal. Anna cried out, "Run!" Felipe grabbed her hand, and they bolted through the back door, just barely dodging Laura's outstretched fingers. They ran into the wood's branches, whipping their faces, the cold air stinging their lungs. Behind them, they could hear Laura's shrill voice screaming, calling for her son to follow them. But Felipe knew these woods better than she thought. He had marked the trees as they came, and he led Anna through a narrow path down a rocky hill. When they finally stopped to catch their breath, Anna looked at her brother terrified. "What was that?" Felipe shook his head. "I don't know, but that wasn't a normal old woman, and I don't think we're safe yet." As the wind howled through the trees, Felipe glanced back. A pair of glowing green eyes blinked in the distance, watching them. Felipe and Anna ran deeper into the woods, the darkness wrapping around them like a thick cloak. But as they ran, Felipe noticed something strange. Anna's grip on his hand loosened. He turned. Anna had stopped. Her face was pale and blank, her eyes glowing faintly. "Anna!" Felipe shouted, but she didn't answer. Instead, she turned slowly, almost like someone was pulling invisible strings from behind her. Felipe's heart dropped. He ran back toward her, but before he could reach her, Laura appeared again, this time with power glowing around her. Her hands moved in a strange rhythm, and words in an ancient tongue spilled from her lips. Felipe watched in horror as a faint blue circle of magic lit up on the ground around Anna. "No, Anna!" he cried, but Anna kept walking as if she couldn't hear him. Her steps were slow and stiff, like a puppet being dragged across the leaves. That's when it hit Felipe. The apple and water. That must have been it. That's how she put a spell on Anna. He reached into his trouser pocket and pulled out the apple he had refused to eat. It still looked perfect. Too perfect. The shine hadn't faded. The skin hadn't bruised. Felipe stared at the glowing circle, an idea forming in his head as he watched the transformation unfold. Meanwhile, Anna stood motionless inside the glowing circle, her gaze distant, as if trapped in a dream. Laura chanted louder, and the forest air trembled with her powerful incantation. Felipe saw it happening before his eyes, a spectacle of magic and despair intertwining. Laura's wrinkled skin began to tighten, a visible change that marked the onset of her metamorphosis. Her hunched back straightened, and her hair darkened from white to jet black, flowing down her shoulders like a waterfall of shadows. She was transforming into a young, beautiful woman radiating an enchanting aura that captivated the forest. Anna, on the other hand, was weakening her energy, visibly draining as the transformation took hold. Her hands trembled and her skin wrinkled, showing the harsh effects of the enchantment as she struggled to resist. She looked confused, scared, but still unable to speak or move, trapped in a state of helplessness. "No!" Felipe yelled, shoving the apple back into his pocket and running toward them with urgency. "Anna, fight it! It's not you! You have to wake up!" Felipe shouted, desperation woven into his voice as shadows danced around them. Laura turned her glowing green eyes on Felipe and smirked. "You're too late, boy. She belongs to me now." Anna groaned, her eyes flickering, just for a second, back to normal as she fought against the dark magic. She looked at Felipe, her lips barely moving as she whispered, "Help." Felipe's eyes filled with tears as he responded, "I'm coming." But the magic pulsed harder, the circle glowing brighter as Laura chanted louder, intensifying her hold on Anna. Anna's body was nearly fully transformed into a frail, hunched old woman, and Laura, no longer a crone but a young enchantress, raised her arms in triumph. But Felipe didn't stop. He was determined to save Anna at all costs. He pulled the untouched apple from his pocket, stared at it, then looked at Laura with newfound resolve. He remembered what his grandmother once told him. Magic leaves a mark, but so does the truth. Sometimes, to break a curse, you must face the spell with its own power. Felipe didn't know what would happen, but he had no choice. He took a deep breath and smashed the apple to the ground. A shockwave of energy burst out from it, green and gold light spiraling up like smoke. The magic circle around Anna flickered, then cracked like broken glass. Laura screamed. Her body jerked violently, her skin flashing between young and old. "No, what have you done?" Anna fell to her knees, gasping as if she had just escaped drowning. Her form slowly began to return to normal, her strength crawling back into her bones. Felipe ran to her and caught her in his arms. "You're okay," he whispered. "You're okay now." Laura stumbled backward, her beauty fading once more. Her hands clawed the air. "I just wanted time. I just wanted a life. You could have given me that." But the forest had heard her lies. The glowing magic circle reversed, spinning wildly, dragging Laura into the center. "No!" she shrieked as the light surrounded her. "Not again!" Then silence. When the light faded, Laura was gone. Only her tattered shawl remained. Felipe and Anna sat in the clearing, holding each other tightly, the cold wind wrapping around them. As Felipe and Anna stood at the edge of the forest, trying to catch their breath from all they'd witnessed, a soft clink of a stone slipping underfoot startled them. Anna turned sharply, eyes scanning the shadows. "Someone's watching," she said. Felipe waved a hand. "It's just the wind." But out of the trees stepped a hunched figure, his face worn, his eyes soft. Though his back was twisted, there was something honest and broken in his voice as he raised his hand gently. "Please, don't run. I'm not here to harm you. My name is Smith. I'm Laura's son." Felipe stepped slightly in front of Anna. "I know what you're thinking," Smith continued. "You saw her magic. You saw what she became. But I'm not her. I was only hiding because I didn't want to frighten you. Most people run when they see my back." Anna's lips trembled. "Why would Laura, your mother, do all this?" Smith sighed and looked down at the tattered shawl left behind from Laura's disappearance. He picked it up gently, like something sacred. "My mother wasn't always like this," he began. "We once lived in a peaceful village not far from here. Our family was happy. We had joy, laughter, and hope. My mother, Laura, was gifted. She could see glimpses of the future in her dreams. It was rare, and it made her both respected and feared." He paused, then added, "Maybe I should have introduced my father first before jumping in." Felipe and Anna both shook their heads. "No, it's okay," Felipe said. "We want to hear everything." Smith nodded. "My father was ambitious. He was from royal blood, a mistress's son, not from the queen. The council refused to let him become king. They chose his younger brother instead. But my father wasn't willing to wait his turn. He looked for any path, any crack he could use to take the throne." Smith's voice dropped. "He married my mother because of her gift. He thought he could control her, use her visions to gain power. One night she had a terrible dream. She saw our village fall into ruin. The crops would die, rivers would dry, and people would turn on each other. She woke up screaming." Smith looked at Anna. "She wanted to warn the king, but my father, he stopped her. Told her it was just a dream. Told her to keep quiet. But it wasn't just a dream," Anna whispered. Smith nodded slowly. "No, it was real. Days later, everything she saw started happening." He clenched his jaw. Anna gasped. "No," Smith said. Felipe's fists clenched. "Worse than that," Smith said. His voice cracked. "She lost everything." He looked at Anna. "Was the secret love of my father, she decided to destroy everything, starting with you. She thought if she took you, your mother would suffer like she did. She thought your father ran away because he hated your mother. But really, he was protecting you." Anna and Felipe stood frozen. "We always thought it was our father who broke our home," Anna whispered. Smith shook his head. "It was my father's lies. And now, I fear he's still in power, hiding in that village you're going to." Felipe stepped forward. "Then what do we do now? Your mother vanished in the circle. Can we bring her back?" Smith wiped his tears. "I believe we can. My mother never leaves without a proper goodbye. I know her. She would have left something behind." He rushed into Laura's cottage, searching frantically. Anna and Felipe followed, turning over cushions, shelves, and old furniture. Smith pulled open a hidden drawer under the bed, and there, wrapped in cloth, was a small black book with a lock. "This," Smith whispered, holding it up, "was her source, her magic, her truth. With this, we may be able to reach her, speak to her, or undo what's been done." Anna looked at him with a mix of hope and fear. "Do you think she'll listen?" "I don't know," Smith said. "But if we're going to stop the real evil, if we're going to stop my father, we need her, and we need the truth." Inside the ruined cottage, the air felt heavier, as if it knew something important was about to happen. Smith placed the black book on a cracked table, the glow pulsing from its cover like a heartbeat. "This is called the Book of Echoes," he said, brushing away dust. "It holds all of my mother's dreams, spells, and secrets, but it's locked with blood magic. Only someone she truly cared for can open it." He pulled out a small pin from his pouch and pricked his finger. A single drop of blood fell on the book. It shivered, then slowly clicked open. The pages fluttered as if turning by themselves, finally stopping on one titled, "The Path of Return, Soul Echo Ritual." Anna leaned in. "What does it say?" Smith read aloud. "When the soul is taken before its time, and the heart carries more pain than crime, a fire, a name, and a place of loss can call her back across the frost." Felipe raised an eyebrow. "That sounds like a riddle." Smith nodded. "It is, but I know what it means. We need 3 things. A fire to open the veil." The true name of the one we seek echoed in the air as Anna clutched the old shawl tightly, her heart racing with anticipation. Smith's voice was steady as he confirmed, "My father never called her by her real name." Felipe approached the fireplace, determination radiating from him as he declared, "Then let's build the flame." As the fire crackled to life, vibrant flames danced with an unusual hue, creating an enchanting sight that captivated them all. With a whisper that barely broke the silence, Smith breathed, "Eluara." In an instant, the flames surged violently, twisting into the haunting silhouette of a woman filled with both grace and fury. The air trembled with her piercing scream, a cacophony of rage and sorrow that echoed through the room. The ground shook as the voice of Eluara resonated through the chaos, asking, "Why have you called me back?" With a trembling voice, Smith stepped closer and said, "Mama, it's me. It's Smith. I didn't want you to go like that." He continued, his heart heavy. "There are things we need to understand. The truth, your pain, it wasn't in vain." The flames flickered. "You saw what they did. You saw how they burned our home. Why should I return to a world that threw me into darkness?" Anna took a step forward. "Because it's not over yet. The real one who betrayed you, he's still out there." "Eluara," Felipe said firmly. "Your pain wasn't wrong, but you were tricked into turning it on the wrong people. Your revenge nearly destroyed us." The fire lowered, softening. Then another voice joined the flame, a deep, calm voice. "Eluara!" Everyone froze. The second figure appeared beside her, a man with a crown wearing armor with gold leaf on the shoulders. Smith's eyes widened. "The king!" The flaming figure of Eluara turned to him. "You?" The king bowed his head. "I am sorry I never protected you. I knew what your husband was planning, but I didn't have the courage to act. I loved you, but I let you face the fire alone." Felipe whispered, "So he knew everything." Smith's hands tightened into fists. "You could have stopped him. You could have saved her." "I know," the king said. "But there's still time to stop what he's become. Your father is no longer trying to rule. He's trying to become a god." Everyone turned. The king's ghostly flame lifted his hand, revealing a page from the book that had been ripped out. It showed a diagram, a ritual to absorb the soul of a village fueled by pain and betrayal. "That's why he poisoned the land," Anna whispered. "He wanted to break the people and harvest their pain." The fire flickered once more. Eluara spoke softly now. I didn't know. I thought my rage was mine alone, but it was his plan all along." Smith reached toward the flame. "Please, Mama, come back. Help us stop him. For real this time." The flames dimmed, then flared again. "I will return," Eluara said. "But I am no longer the woman you knew. My power has grown, and it must be guided, or it will consume us all." The fire burst into a white flash, and when it cleared, Laura's body lay gently on the floor of the cabin, eyes closed, breathing. She was alive. Anna ran to her side. "She's back." Smith held her hand. "Mama, we'll fix this. Together." Felipe looked out the window. "Then we'd better move fast. If your father's about to make a god of himself." Smith finished the sentence for him. "Then he's already started the final ritual." And far away in the glowing palace at the heart of the village, a dark figure stood before a crowd, holding up a blood-stained crown and smiling. The skies over the kingdom darkened unnaturally, casting a deep violet hue over the land. It wasn't evening, but that something ancient was moving. Inside Laura's cottage, her eyes fluttered open. "Smith," she whispered. Her son knelt beside her. "Mama, you came back." Anna reached out and squeezed her hand. "You have a second chance now. We all do." Tears filled Laura's eyes. "I saw everything. All of it. What I became. What I almost did to those who had nothing to do with our pain." Her gaze turned to Anna. "I'm sorry, child. I almost turned you into the very thing I hated." Felipe stepped forward. "We need to stop him. The ritual. Your husband. It's already begun." The weight of their mission pressed upon them as they stepped into the darkening twilight. Laura nodded, strength returning to her voice. "Then we must go now, before he completes the ritual. If he succeeds, he won't just take the village. He'll rip the magic from this world and reshape it in his image." At the heart of the kingdom, a black altar stood within the royal courtyard. Once a place of judgment, now a throne of evil. Villagers stood in confusion and fear, surrounded by guards in dark armor. At the center stood Malrek, Smith's father, the man who had betrayed them all. Cloaked in crimson, his hands glowing with stolen power. In his hands he held the crown of binding made from the bones of the ancestors. Behind him stood a twisted obelisk of stone pulsing with trapped souls. "This is the age of power," Malrek roared. "No more kings, no more queens, no more false prophets with visions. Today, I become the beginning and the end." A large crystal fed by pain floated above him, glowing with the power of suffering he'd harvested over the years. Laura, Anna, Felipe, and Smith raced through a secret path Laura had once used as a child. Laura's voice was calm but sharp. "If we face him head-on, he'll overpower us. But I still have magic left, and the spellbook. If we destroy the obelisk, it'll sever the bond between him and the crown." Smith nodded. "I'll distract the guards. I know a way in through the tunnels." Felipe looked at Laura. "And us?" They nodded. "You two," Laura said to Anna and Felipe, "must get close to the crystal. It's tied to your bloodline. He's using your mother's pain as the anchor. If you reach it, you can break the spell." Anna tightened her grip on her pouch. "Let's end this." Night fell fast. Thunder rolled, but there was no rain. Just the sound of the sky groaning under Malrek's dark power. As he began chanting, Smith burst from the shadows, tossing smoke bombs into the guard lines. Felipe and Anna snuck through the crowd, dodging blasts of magic and fallen stone. And then Laura appeared. The villagers gasped. Her presence was like a storm held back by sheer will. Her hair flowed like smoke, her eyes glowing white with power. "Malrek!" she screamed. He turned. For the first time, his expression faltered. "You should be ash," he snarled. "You made me into ash," Laura replied. "But fire always returns to burn." She raised her arms, and wind roared through the courtyard, knocking guards aside as vines shot from the ground and wrapped around the obelisk. Felipe and Anna reached the crystal. It pulsed violently as they approached. Anna placed her hand on it. Visions flooded her mind. Memories of her mother, her laughter, her sorrow, her goodbye. "She's still alive," Anna whispered. "She's been kept in pain all this time." "Let's set her free," Felipe said. Together they pressed their palms into the crystal and screamed. A blast of light erupted. Malrek howled, his body cracking like porcelain. "No, no! I am the one who was meant to—" But it was too late. The obelisk shattered. The souls screamed in release. The crown in his hand turned to dust. And in that moment, the villagers saw him for what he was. Not a god, not a king. Just a man who wanted control more than love. He fell to the ground, lifeless. Silence. Then slowly, cheering rose. The darkness lifted. The land itself breathed again. The air was filled with laughter and hope. A new beginning blossomed for all. Together they forged a future free from tyranny. Their hearts were filled with gratitude and strength, and the legend of their bravery would be told for generations. The spirit of freedom soared high above the village. In the hearts of the villagers, a flame of resilience burned bright. Together they would honor the past while embracing the future. The bonds of community grew stronger with each passing day. With love and unity as their foundation, they thrived. Laura sat on a hill watching the sunrise with Smith beside her. She looked younger now, not in body but in spirit. "I never thought I'd see this day," she whispered. "You earned it," Smith said, placing her shawl over her shoulders. Anna and Felipe stood with them. "We found something in the ruins of the palace," Felipe said, handing her a letter. It was addressed to you, from the king. Laura opened it and tears welled in her eyes. He forgave me, even after everything. Anna placed her hand on hers. Maybe now you can forgive yourself. Laura smiled through tears. Maybe now I can begin again. Smith became a healer and keeper of the spellbook, guiding others with wisdom instead of vengeance. Anna and Felipe returned home to reunite with their mother, now free from pain. The village honored Laura's name not as a witch, but as a protector who once saw the end and stopped it. And far away in a quiet garden, a single flower bloomed where the obelisk once stood. Peace at last. The end.